Do you want to get your city on the map? Do you have dozens of tourists just desperate to find a way to leave? Well, you're in luck. This is episode 31 in Ashbury Dales, and we're going to build an airport. So where do you find us? Well, you find us on the outskirts of Turnwater, Upper Turnwater, in fact, looking at the work that we've done over a series of episodes. You know, we're 30 episodes down in Ashbury Dales, and a lot of them have been spent here. We've got a bus hub down at the bottom here, D-Dub Stadium. Over here, a university expansion, the expanded area of Upper Turnwater we put in to fix our residential crisis. Lovely high school, well decorated in here as well. And this fantastic green space behind. Now, we, I think, are going to be taking quite a big liberty. Across the UK, particularly around London, there are a bunch of quote-unquote London airports that are quite some distance away from London. So Gatwick and Heathrow, you might be aware of, relatively close. Luton, a little bit further away. Stansted, Southend, really far away from London. But they're London airports. And so we are going to be creating London Ashbury Airport. And we are going to be creating it in this green space here. Now, I have a confession to make before we get started. The airport's DLC came out in January of this year. I started working on the first episodes of Ashbury Dales in January this year, and they were not about airports. And I don't really play City Skylines when I'm not recording very much anymore. I've never built an airport using the airport's DLC. So we are going to discover this together. I have, of course, watched dozens and dozens and dozens of fantastic content creators build theirs. And so I feel like I know how it's done, but we will find out whether or not that's true over the course of perhaps some fairly severe edits, or what I hope are some very relaxing and beautiful time lapses where we get this right first time. But we will see how we go. The first thing that we need to do is allocate space to our airport area. And there we go. So London Ashbury Airport area has been allocated. I remembered just in time that you needed to level out in advance of making your airport area, else it will level it for you. And so I decided to take the reins and flatten an area here with enough area around the edge for me to smooth out what was left. So at least from this angle, it doesn't look too hideous. Perhaps if we started to take a look from some of the more terrain-filled areas of the map, we can see maybe we just about get away with that slope there. I think we're probably actually going to be fine. The road goes up and down a little bit here, so we're flat at some places with the road and not at others. That seems entirely plausible to me. So then I guess we better get started. So the first decision we have is on style. We can choose the classic style, the modern style, or the ultra modern style. Now, I think in the year 2075, Ashbury Dales will have probably moved past anything called the classic style, but yet, let's be honest, we are not ultra modern in any way across Ashbury Dales. So we're going to pick the modern one. And then our second choice is, do we want the 1-story or 2-story terminal building? And we're going to choose the 1-story terminal building. Again, the 2-story one feels perhaps just a bit too fancy for us here. And so we are going to choose the modern airport terminal. Now, I think the way that I've got this imagined in my head is that the runway will go sort of along here, parallel perhaps to the river, and the way into the airport should be in this sort of bulb at the end of all of that. So I'm going to place this here. We're going to start by connecting this up, placing a few of the bits that we need to place to get this functional. That will include a runway. And so perhaps then we need to just consider this from a different angle again. Let's come back up here and see if we can't get the first things that we need in. Well, there we go, off to a great start. Let's take a look. So London Ashbury Airport is a level 1 airport. Let's run the game. So we can see here, nothing yet happening. So we'll see this. We'll see our attractiveness score kick in fairly soon. It should be quite easy to get that up to the right level. Planes everywhere. One thing we are missing, water and electricity. Right, so what do we need to do to get this up? More passengers. We had 11 passengers on those flights out, an attractiveness score of 80. So I think we can do some stuff on the attractiveness. We'll get to that in a few moments. Let's take a minute though to just marvel at the genius of the work that we've put in here. So as you can see, we've got a very, very long runway. And then what we've done is we've just said to the planes, you just have to cross. So when you land, you have to come back here and you have to cross the ones that are going in here. And then you have to navigate this very tight turn for an aeroplane in here to get back onto the runway once you've filled. And again, waiting for the crossing traffic here. We have one road and we've managed to make it cross because we are that good. We have also added just the smallest driveway into the airport that you could possibly imagine. We will, in time, of course, augment this with car parks and perhaps some commercial things and some places to stay, etc. But for the time being, it is what it is. I wonder if we want to make just one concession to quality here and make this a one-way road. Wonderful stuff, nicely done. Right, let's, in fact, before we start just plopping things in the airport, let's tidy this up a little bit. I think we can do something with the decoration of this just to make it welcoming for our initial airport patrons, at least. There we go. Right, so let's have a look. So we managed to find a giant aeroplane lying around our asset list. So we popped that in there, put some fences and some colourful plants around here as well. I think this looks lovely. I think we're off to a really good start. So now let's try and work on actually the functionality of the airport. Right, so that's the assets in there, I think. Let's have a look and see if it... Yeah, so our attractiveness score is now over the top. So let's have a look and see what we've done, apart from not get water to our hotel. So maybe we'll start over there. Right, hotel plumbed in now. We should see that, realise that in a few moments' time. So what we've done here is we've popped the local budget, or whatever it's called, the budget airport hotel in here. And we've put a small one-way road here into the... loop that we have here. They will have to go all the way around, so it would have been more generous to put them in here, but I really want this to be inconvenient so that it doesn't promote traffic coming in from here as a way into the airport. So we would still like them to take the longer roads if they can, but for those who insist, there is a slow 10-mile-an-hour road here. We've actually slowed all of these roads down for that same reason. This hotel deserves just a bit more care and attention than it has had. So let us give it, well, at least a car park, some fencing, and some trees. There we go, lovely stuff. So that airport will start functioning beautifully now that it is more beautiful. We've done the same thing again of putting the car park the opposite side of the road, so you have to cross with your luggage, but fine. We also popped down the bus station. Now this one does connect to the concourse very nicely, and so we'll be able to get all of our bus routes to connect into here. I don't think we need to do too much of that at the moment, so I think all we'll do is connect the nearest hubs to the airport. There we go, and no sooner are the routes in than we have dozens of people waiting for the bus. Now let's see, they might be in for just a little bit of a wait. Let's see how long it takes for the buses to get here and pick these folks up. Well, actually, the wait for the bus was longer than the wait to level up. London Ashbury Airport has now reached level 2. We've unlocked a bunch of buildings, a better hotel, larger airports, concourse hubs, fuel stations, metro stations, which we don't have in the city anywhere else, so it would seem foolish to put a metro station here. Various other props and accoutrements for the airport, which I'm sure will come in very useful very soon. What I've also noticed while I've been sitting here waiting for these buses to arrive is that people are just sort of plopping their cars out somewhere down the escalator and driving away. So we can see there that lady there just hopped into her BMW halfway down the escalator. She thought, I am not going to wait for a bus. If there are this many people waiting for it, I shall not be one. And so popped in her car and left. I can see a bus in the distance. There we go. So we're using the airport double-decker buses. I wonder if it will drive past us here. It will. Look at that in all of its glory. The Airport Express, taking people from the least populated of our platforms off to presumably Loughborough or some far-flung place across the other side of the city. Let's stay patient and see if we can keep our eyes out for a bus to pick up these very, very long waiting souls here. And here we go. Right, let's see how many of these people make it onto the bus here. Well, they're replaced by at least as many coming here. So perhaps now our airport is remarkably more functional. That escalator is phenomenal, isn't it? You just have to be near it, and you get launched to the upper tiers. Now, look at that. There were a bunch of people here who have just used this as a bus hub. They got off the bus here. They went up and along and down to here. Oh, well, there we go. another way that that public transport has been improved in our area. Right, so it seems the next step is going to be quite a large one. So we need to get to 1,000 attractiveness score and some 5,000 passengers as well. We have unlocked quite a bit more that we can use to do that. So we can now have larger planes. So we can place a medium aircraft stand, and no doubt we will. We can also, if we want, have a luxury airport hotel, though I do feel that would be doing a disservice to the new budget hotel that we have in there. An aircraft lounge, I'm sure, will not go amiss, and an extended concourse probably, making room for some of those medium aircraft stands. Maybe an aviation fuel station. It does seem to add, 2/3 of the attractiveness of a lounge. So who'd have thought it? Also, we have some large hangars here to go alongside our small ones. So I think what we'll do, we'll probably just extend the kind of utility aspect of the airport down this way, increase our concourse this way, perhaps a slight bit this way as well. Lounges, medium aircraft stands, additional taxiways, etc. Let's see what we can do to get us up to level 2. There we go, it's starting to look really nice, I think. So let's take a look at what we've done. Well, more concourse, some lounges here. These come in random colours, and we've had them all come in the same apart from one. I could spend ages deleting it and putting it in there, but I'm not going to. We've popped down some parked planes. So we've, rather than using the BA ones that we've used as props elsewhere and actually in the hangars on some of these add attractiveness. I think it diminishes the more you add, but we've added loads. We've also added some medium aircraft stands in here. We've added a medium hangar, small hangar. We've concreted as much as we can off camera, or just slightly more zoomed in than from the view here. We spent a long time getting a nice straight line with the surface painter tool. So we've managed to do that very well, and then covered up the edge of that with some trees, but trees everywhere because it's Ashbury Dales. I think we might be in a good place. I haven't checked to see how we're doing on attractiveness yet. I hope we're close though. So 930. Look at that. Of all of the possible ways that I could have messed that up, being so close to attractiveness and forgetting to put water. Probably predictable ones. Let's get some water in here. Nice. I imagine that's sufficient. Let's check that the hangars agree with me. They do. Wonderful. Right, so we will let that run and try and find some 70 points of attractiveness somewhere. There we go. Couple of fuel stands was all we needed there to get us to just over. And we can see some planes landing as well. That's fantastic. There we go. Welcome or welcome back. We're glad to have you in Ashbury Dales. We also have a couple of planes set for takeoff, it would seem. So we have British Airways coming in here and Virgin Atlantic. And here we are then exactly where we would want to be, staring an aeroplane down, hoping that we're in the right place for it to take off just over our heads. There we go. Perfect. Virgin Atlantic right behind it as well. Air traffic control, I think, not doing a fantastic job of letting these guys have enough space between them. And another one here about to take off as well. Look at that. Nope, just straight into us. I think that one had just landed. Right. So with the attractiveness, the way that it should be, it really is just a case of watching the passenger count tick up. I wonder if there's anything we can do in terms of policies to accelerate this. Hotel discounts adds a bonus of 200 points to the airport's attractiveness. That seems like it would be useful. 20 per passenger per week. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think we can do that. Great maintenance adds land value bonus to the whole airport. Costs 5 cents per 100 airport area sales per week. Well, I've got no idea how much that will be, so let's do it. Car rentals we don't want, I don't think. We don't want people driving out of here. We've put a lot of time and effort, approximately 3 minutes, into setting up bus networks, so we don't want to waste all of that with the tick of a box. So let us, I think, just enjoy the airport for a little while and wait for it to get to level 3. And there you have it. Look, we've managed to get to level 3. So that gives us the aviation museum, which we can plop down somewhere else. The airline headquarters building, so we can start making some money as well. And a bunch of other things besides. We can now also use this as a cargo train station as well. I don't think we'll be doing that straight away as we watch this other plane here take off. We had a bit of a go at decorating what was left of the runway as well. So we put some other taxiways in, some more hangars, fuel stands, etc. We also had a few different iterations of landscaping along the side here. We had trees all the way along the side until we realised that the planes were crashing into them. So we chopped the larger trees down and just left some colourful plants down here, which I think the planes are clearing quite comfortably. Other than that, all things seem to be working very well. It's nice and busy. The buses seem to be working well. This plane seems to be attracting people on the way in, just in case they didn't realise it was an airport, really, just to make sure. And then one other thing as well, we did have Edward come in and say that you needed to subscribe to the channel. He said he'd made it all the way here as a high wealth adult, and he is a subscriber to the channel, but a significant number of you watching this video are not. And so it is your turn. So Edward says now hit the subscribe button as he makes his way off to the park with trees. So he just sort of phased in to his car there, and he's now driven through 2 other cars. When you're a high wealth adult in Ashbury Dales, physics don't apply. But subscribing does. So hit the notification bell, stay up to date with everything we do here. So where are we now, Simon? Well, we are over by the concert area that we created in the last episode. We kind of accidentally left this huge open space here. And in this episode, we have made it so that we have access to the aviation museum, which is almost a perfect fit in here, isn't it? So I think what we'll do is we'll just check that the roads are nice and flat around here and welcoming for such a fantastic exhibit. And then we will plop it in. There we go in, let's take a look and see. So we've oriented it this way in the end. We just wanted the traffic to come in here rather than off the main road. We'll get the game running and check to see what we've got wrong in placing this down. We almost always seem to get something incorrect, but it looks like it's going to be absolutely fine. So I wonder if we want to just put a fence around the edge of this just to give it a serious feel. There we go, wonderful. Right, so that will work nicely and give us plenty more tourism over in this area. I wonder what we can do about the airline headquarters. Yeah, so I think we want it close to the airport. And so we've got this recycling centre here that we put in here a few episodes back, I think, or maybe even just off camera. I can probably just tidy up the road layout that we've got in here and put it in here, and it might feel nice and appropriate. So let's take a look from here as I fiddle around with these roads. There we go, that's better. So we've doubled up the recycling plants in there because why not? Those trees definitely won't survive. But here we go. We have our airport headquarters building right next to the airport, off and running. So let's take a look at the airline info here. There we go. Snapdragon Airways has been established. We're charging $62 a ticket, £62, 62 sim, 62 money a ticket. We could slide it all the way up. I'm going to keep it so that the attractiveness is a nice round 2,000 because why not? If we notice that we aren't making enough money or that the airport is particularly busy, maybe we shall increase it. But I think for now that will be fine. So Snapdragon Airways is going to start making us 11,941 money a week, half of what this airport costs us. But we shall hope that the tourism that it brings in is sufficient to balance it all out and keep the city making money. Look, we've got some fantastic action at the airport here. A bunch of planes landing, taking off. It is all happening here. So I think we've done a really good job. If you think so too, then please like the video. If you do like the video, then leave a comment. Let me know what it was you liked about it. Once you've done that, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, stay up to date with everything that we do here. All that being said, thank you very much for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care and goodbye.